And the other thing that the internet did was kind of destroy the image of the untouchable rock star. Do you think it's more important for artists to stay in touch with their fans than it used to be?
I think so, just because it's a lot easier they're more accessible now, so there's really no excuse for no fan interaction, and usually if people in bands or musicians or artists don't interact with their fans, they're doing 13-hour meet and greets, like, I don't mean to bring her up again, but Taylor Swift, or they're just jerks and they think they're too good for that, but or they live under a rock and don't have any social networking or anything like that. But I think it's like, okay. I think you have to be deliberately trying not to talk to fans if you have like a Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's like, it's just so easy, and I don't really understand why you wouldn't. But, yeah.
Okay. Obviously you've been through a lot lately with the industry side of things and how that's gone. What are your thoughts on the music industry today, and where do you think it's going to end up in the future?
Ooh, I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's never going to go away, I don't think, and there's always going to be issues, and people are going to always hate certain aspects. But I think it's just one of those things that people can hate it all they want, but it is what it is. You want that success and you want that extra push, and you don't have a fan base yet, and you don't have this or you don't have that, or the financial backing. It's like you need to get on the label and you need to get a publishing deal and you got to do this and that, and it's annoying. I hate the politics behind it. I hate the business side of everything. I don't understand why people care so much about if you have a record deal or not. Oh my God, why don't you have a record deal with the Cadence anymore? It's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm still making music. But I think, you can hate it, but it's always going to be there. And for me, not being on a label has been an eye-opener, just because I never realized how much was just done for me. Like, promoting the tour, putting posters together and designing the flyers, and having the street team always doing stuff, and all of this stuff I don't have anymore, and I'm kind of doing it all myself, and it's actually really fun and it's humbling, but at the same time it's like, well, I do want a label, especially if you had one and now you don't have one. It's like, you can tell it's a lot more stressful, but there are some really awesome labels out there and some awesome publishing companies that do look out for your best interest and do care about their artists, and then there's some really shitty ones that don't care about anything and spend millions of dollars on you and don't care. I'm not talking from personal experience. Columbia was awesome, but I've seen it happen to other people and I don't understand it. But I think it is smart what everyone's doing now. They're waiting till the artist or the band's a little more established till they sign them or till they take on the project, because they spend less money putting into that project, which I think is good, because I think they need to pull back on the spending. So, I don't know. We'll see. I could go on all night, but I can't predict what's going to happen with the industry. It's always just crazy.
Changing.
Yeah.
All right. Most of the time, bands get asked about their weirdest fan experience, but I actually work at a couple of venues around Pittsburgh, so I'm curious, have you ever had a really bad or really weird experience with venue staff? Be it security
Venue
or
staff.
promoter or anybody?
Yeah, totally. There's nothing better than having a really great security staff and venue staff, but there is also nothing worse than having a really bad one. There have been security guards who, just crowd surfers and they just let them fall on the ground, or they keep asking me what I'm doing backstage, and I'm like, I am in the band, leave me alone. 10 times they ask me, what are you doing back here, little girl? I'm like, call me little girl. But it's just so annoying. And then sometimes they're so cool, and at this venue they're so nice, the best sound. The sound guys, if they suck, your whole night is ruined, especially if you don't have your own sound guy, which I don't have, and they're doing your monitors. Sometimes it's just a nightmare, and you do sound check and they don't save the settings, and it's just like, why did I do that? Why did I waste my time? And then tonight the guy is amazing and it sounds awesome. So it's just like, you never know what you're gonna get. But I think the most infuriating things are when security guards are just like mean to everyone and just jerks. They call me a little girl. It's so annoying.
Do you think that has something to do with the fact that you're female?
I
Did you
think
get that a lot?
absolutely, because I walk around. I think there aren't many girls on tour, and if there are, especially on a tour like a smaller tour, there's not many girls in general. So, I mean, I don't know like if the laminate doesn't give it away, or like the fact that I'm on the flyer for the poster for the tour, but they want to think that I'm trying to get backstage. I think that they just want a purpose of standing there all night. They want to feel like they did something.
Because I've been there, I actually work security, so I know what they're
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
You stand there and do nothing all night.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh,
Except check
something that
laminates.
might happen. Oh.
But some people don't check the laminates. It's like, really?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Just check. Yeah, just check
look.
it a little bit, and then you're fine. It's fine.
Anyway, since you've got all this new solo stuff, and even with the Hey Monday stuff, what do you want listeners to get out of your songs?
I've always wanted it to be relatable, everything that I do and everything that I write, and I think it kind of just happens naturally. I write about things that I've experienced, and everyone has experienced what I have. So I also want people to listen to it and gain some more confidence, because I feel like people these days just that it's so hard to find. People aren't confident, and they see everything on TV and on the billboards of these rail thin girls, or like I don't know, what do you call it, ripped guys, and everyone, Jersey Shore, like everyone is obsessed with body image and being perfect, and I just want people to know that like they don't have to feel that way. In my songs, I talk about insecurities. I'm not the most secure person, and I write about it. So I hope people listen to my stuff and become more comfortable and like feel like safe when they listen to it. And I also want them to like be able to rock out and have fun listening to it as well. But, yeah.
Okay, we did have one fan question that was wondering if you have plans of visiting other countries, and they said that Australia misses you.
Oh, I miss Australia too. No, not yet. I would love to. Again, it's kind of hard to do without a label. It's expensive, so if something turns around and I win the lottery, then I will go there in a heartbeat. But until then, it's gonna probably be a while. Exactly. But I love Australia.
Apparently, Australia loves you. Anyway, last question. What to you is being a musician all about?
It's actually, to me, it's all about being happy. I don't believe people should be in music or be musicians and do it for a living for someone else or for other people, because usually that just ruins people. And like, I mean, I know musicians who have, or I know of musicians who have kind of gone into it and played a character and got kind of sucked into that character, and then they ruined their lives with drugs and all this stuff, and they forgot why they were doing it in the first place, and that's something that I think is really important not to do, and I think people lose sight of what it's really about. If you love music and you want that to be your career, then you should do it, and if it makes you happy, then that's amazing. But like, there's nothing worse than meeting someone who's in a band or who's, an artist who's just like bitter and salty, and they don't want to be on tour, and they don't want to be playing music anymore, and they're just sick of it, and it's like, don't do it, I've always said I write for me, I don't write for other people or for the fans, and I love the fans, but it's for me. So I think that's the only way to stay happy and to make it a career, if you're just happy doing it.
Okay. That's pretty much it. Any last words?
Make sure you come to my tour. I want to see you guys. All right? Thank you.
I'm done. Bye.